Well, welcome, Sangeeta. It's really wonderful to have you come to talk to our SSS class. Last period, we had Rena come in and talk about the different chakras, and we just kind of did some meditation and some chanting. But we really don't know much about the whole chakra system. And so just want to invite you to help us understand that system better today.
Okay, thanks, Marty, and thanks for inviting me to your class. I'm so happy to be here and look forward to actually being in your class in a few months.
Yeah.
So, the chakra system actually comes from an ancient philosophy which is embedded within the yoga system. It comes from the tantric philosophy of the yoga system, and essentially it deals with something called the energy body. Now, we all know that we have a physical body because we can see it and we can touch it and we can, perform from our physical bodies, but we also have something that's not visible to the naked eye, which is our energy body. And this is a very like a common topic within I think, the Indian system of the scriptures, as well as the Indian system of medicine, as well as the Chinese medicine. We call it the chi or the prana. It's the energy that goes through our body and basically is the ground from which everything that we do it shapes everything that we do. So the chakra system is all about this energy body, and the chakras themselves are nothing but energy centers. So if you think about it as a transportation system, so there's a lots of you know like in a transportation grid, you have lots of movement back and forth from different, like from Hong Kong to Bangkok to Singapore to New Delhi. There'll be many flights, but then there'll be a few hubs, like a few centers, few airports that act as hubs from which most of the flights take off and land. And then there are these smaller airports where they have smaller flights, right? So just like in our body, there actually 114 chakras, but there are 7 major chakras. And these are the hubs from where all the energy flows in and flows out of these chakras. And when we are perfectly aligned, when our chakras are working in an ideal way, then there's free flow of energy through these chakras. And for you to visualize, just think of it as a vertical column going through your spinal cord. And in this vertical column, the 7 chakras are stacked one on top of the other. From the base of your spine, which is medically known as the perineum, that's the place of your first chakra, right to the top of your head would be the 7th chakra. So they're all vertically stacked like that. Okay, and just think of them as whirling balls of energy that are actually present in your. So yeah, they're not visible to the naked eye, but they're just as real as your actual nervous system, which carries your blood and through the various nerves that you have in your body. The chakra system works just like that. It has nerves called the nadis, and they have the energy centers, and there's a flow of energy. And whenever there's a blockage, just like when your arteries get blocked and you have like plaque in your arteries, and then the blood can't flow, and that leads to disease. Just like that, when there is a blockage in the flow of energy, that's what leads to all the problems that we have in our lives. So,
Okay, yeah, that's very helpful. So now you're going to take us kind of through a tour of the 7 chakras, the 7 main energy hubs.
Yes.
Okay.
So we have, like I said, 7 main chakras in our body, starting with the base chakra, which is the first one, which is actually called the Muladhara chakra. And the Muladhara chakra is our grounding chakra. It's the one that is concerned with survival. It's the one that we use to make sure that we are able to survive in this world. So it's concerned with food, with making sure that all our basic needs are met. So your food, water, housing, like make sure you're safe in this world. So when there's an excess of fear that my survival needs are not met, then this chakra is basically out of balance. And then we can do some practices to bring this chakra into balance so that we feel more secure and grounded in the world. So moving upwards, the second chakra, which is somewhere in between your navel and your genital organs. And so that's called this as the second chakra, or the Swadhisthana chakra in the in Sanskrit. And that is your sacral or sexual chakra, where where you have, it's basically where you derive pleasure from, where in whatever it is that you may enjoy in life is basically has something to do with the second chakra. So where you find pleasure, or if your ability to enjoy the good things in life is blocked, then that means your second chakra is blocked, right? Then the third one is just around your core, which is one of the most important chakras. It's called the Manipura chakra, which is where you manifest, you use your willpower and you create things by sheer force of will, and it's your core. The strength of your core determines everything, as they say. So that is your Manipura chakra. It's got the fire. It's got the fire in your belly to do things, to give you energy to act in this world. So now the three chakras that I just mentioned, the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana, and the Manipura, these are the three lower chakras. So when we talk about the chakras, they're the higher chakras and the lower chakras. And after the three lower chakras, we have the heart chakra, which is the one in the middle. The three higher chakras, three lower chakras, and the heart one is in the middle. So if you ever see, if you've seen the Star of David, where there's two triangles, one pointing downwards and one pointing upwards, that's kind of the whole, the symbol associated with the heart chakra, because it's the center of the two flows of energy. So I said to visualize your chakra system as a vertical column. And so your energy is flowing downwards and your energy is flowing upwards as well. So when your energy flows upwards, you move from material planes to more spiritual planes. You're accessing, you're moving beyond your body into areas of pure consciousness and awareness and spiritual realms. But when you move downwards, you're actually downloading this universal energy and consciousness into the material world. So you're bringing ideas into practicality, and that's kind of the downward flow of energy. And and neither one is, it's not like a good or bad thing. We need both. We need to survive in this world, and so we need to download energy into our bodies and into our system. And we also need to at some point transcend. We all have that innate drive in us to transcend the material realm, right? So the heart is at the the juncture between the two flows of energy. So it's a very important chakra, as you can imagine. And then after that, we have the three higher chakras, and we have the Vishuddha, which is in the throat, and we have the Agnya chakra, which is your third eye, right around here, and then the Sahasrara, which is your seventh chakra, which is located, they say, a couple inches above your head, actually. So that is the 7 chakras.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last class, Rena kind of went through each one of those for us and did some type of meditation to help us, and we kind of explored kind of the emotional blockages that may be associated with each one of those. So you're gonna help us to do some more kind of work in those areas, but this time we're not going to use chanting. What are you proposing that we'll do?
Yeah. So before I do that, I just want to explain a little bit more about how each chakra could get blocked and how it would affect your performance as maybe a student, or maybe your personal life in some way. So one of the examples that I came across in a book that I was reading on chakras is by Anodia Judith, and please feel free, if you're interested in this topic, do look up her books in the library. I know that the HKI's library has 2 of her books, The Wheels of Life, and there's another one whose the title I can't remember. So anyway, in one of her books, she talks about this example of building a house. Okay, so you have a dream of a house. You have this dream that you want to build this beautiful house in which you're going to live. And that dream takes root in your consciousness. And you set an intention that at some point, I'm going to build this house. Whatever that dream may be. In your case, it might not be building a house, as you're all students, and you might be thinking of a certain college you want to go to, for example, or a certain career path that you want to follow. So that idea takes root in your topmost chakra. So that is the area from which the consciousness from which you have just take you have conceived of this idea and maybe set an intention that this is what I want to do at some point in my life, but it's still right here. It's in your topmost chakra and it is not reality. It has not manifested itself as of yet. So then you bring it downwards through the various chakras, and in your, you visualize it. Now let's go back to the example of building a house. Now you have a certain architecture in mind. You want to have maybe a garden. You want to have a certain kind of kitchen, like a really modern kitchen, let's say, with stainless steel appliances, or you want to have a beautiful family room with a big TV, something. You have certain ideas of how you want this house to look, and you visualize it, and that visualization happens in this Agnya chakra. The Vishuddha chakra is your communication chakra, where you start talking about this idea to other people. You're like, I have this dream and I don't know, like you start, thinking about it out loud, and that helps you to gather your own momentum in a way, to kind of build that momentum within you that, okay, I have this idea, I want to bring it into reality. So you start voicing it. Maybe you start you could start writing about it, or you could start talking about it, but in some way you're communicating this idea to the world at large, right? And then coming to your fourth chakra, the heart chakra, you start creating relationships in your life which will help you meet this goal that you have conceived in your topmost chakra. So maybe you start talking to architects or builders, or you start, thinking about the land. Who are the people who are selling the land, or who are people who are selling? You start making all these connections with people, and that comes from the heart chakra. And then, you need some force of energy. You need the willpower to actually put this dream into motion. So there's a certain amount of work that needs to be done. It's just, if you just have an idea, like they say, goals are just dreams until you implement, you have a plan to implement them. So that is your, your core, your chakra, the third, the one we call the Manipura chakra. That's where you set the motion to actually do the work to bring this into reality. And then, the second chakra is remember the flow chakra, where you visualize how much pleasure I'm going to get when this dream is fine. It helps oil the machine to keep it going. Like when you have the vision, but you also feel the joy that you're going to feel when this project is completed. And then the last one is the actual fruition, is the actual bringing into the material plane, this idea that you have conceived, and you actually give birth to it. So it's birthing of an idea, or it's a house, or it's a book that you want to write, or it's a college that you want to get into, or it's any project, and a research project that you have been thinking of. Doesn't matter. But when it's finally birthed, that's when your Muladhara chakra is active. So this is a practical way to think about, anytime you have an idea and it's not manifesting itself into reality, then one of your chakras is blocked. Okay. Either you're having trouble communicating that idea to other people and gathering the momentum, or you're having trouble with actually visualizing, like, what is it that I really want? Like, okay, I want to write a book, but what's that book going to be about? Sorry, that was a phone call. Let me just, okay. So that's what I want to really get to, is that, like, every time you have a goal or an intention or a dream and it does not get realized, there is essentially some blockage. And so there are ways and means by which we remove these blockages. And yes, chanting is definitely one of them, because what chanting does is that it's energy that's resonating at a certain frequency when you chant. And by chanting, you raise the energy of your own chakra to that level. So it's like a tuning fork. So you're a little bit out of tune, and then you bring yourself in tune with the positive energy, by way of which you can align your chakras. But there are other ways to do it. And one of the ways that I personally like a lot is doing certain yoga poses for each chakra. So there is, for example, You're not feeling grounded. You're like too heady. You have all these ideas, but you're not like, you're not a practical person. People tell you, you don't know how to bring it into practice. So that means you're like not fully grounded. So there are, practices we can do to ground ourselves. So that's one of the practices I'm going to lead you with a meditation. But just like that, for every chakra, there's a beautiful meditation, or so there's visualization techniques, there's guided meditations you can do, there's yoga poses that you can do for each chakra. There's things that you can do, and along with the chanting, these are all beautiful ways to clear the blockages in our chakra, so that we can actually live our lives more fully in both directions. We can download, the energy from the quantum field of possibilities. We can access all this, potential, this untapped potential that we have for living our lives. But we can also, when we want, find the vertical dimension of connecting our dreams and our purposes and our, whatever is there in our material world, to a higher purpose. So like, why are we doing this? So the two-way flow of energy is accomplished when the passages are clear. Okay. So yeah, sorry, just to not to cut you short, but I just wanted to lead you into one of the possible meditations we can do, which is like a grounding meditation.
Sure. So is that we're gonna do that now?
We could do that now, and I could just guide you through it. And yeah, so maybe I can ask you all to give you a few seconds to get yourself set up, to find like a meditation posture that's comfortable for you. You could choose to sit up straight with your spine erect, um, in your chair. If you feel comfortable, you can also lay down on the floor.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to get yourself organized. Actually, you know what? This particular meditation works best if you're sitting. But if you're already laying down, we can, all right. So sit up straight in your chair, and you may choose to close your eyes and rest your hands gently on your knees or in your lap. And your feet are shoulder width apart, flat on the floor. And you start by taking a few deep breaths. You breathe in deeply through your nose and out through your nose. Let me do that 2 more times. So breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. And now I want you to connect with the sensations you feel in your body where your body meets the chair. So the base of your spine is settled in the chair, and I want you to tap into that sensation of how it feels, where there's a contact point between your body and the chair. So we're becoming more aware of the base, our own foundation. And see if you can direct a few breaths down to the base of your spine. So as you breathe in, direct your breath to this point of contact you feel with the chair. And as you breathe out, release that and just breathe out through your nose. On your next inhale, see if you can extend that sensory feeling down the length of your legs and down to your feet. So breathing in, notice how you can direct the breath from your hips, your pelvic region, down your legs into the base of your feet, soles of your feet. And now connect with the sensations you feel in the soles of your feet, where your feet meet your shoes and your shoes meet the ground. There's a certain amount of pressure. Just tap into this sense of contact with Mother Earth. On your next breath, as you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're a tree and that roots are growing out of your lower half of your body becomes like the trunk of the tree. And as you breathe in, your roots start growing and extending down into the earth. Every time you inhale, those roots get longer and deeper into the earth. With each inhale, visualize the network of roots that's spreading from your body down into Mother Earth. Keeps you firmly grounded and firmly entrenched in and on solid ground. And see how this makes you feel. Like, do you feel a little more stable, a little more, the word is earthed? Do you feel like connected to the earth in a deeper way, or grounded? Stay with this for a few more breaths. Visualize the deep roots and how you draw the energy from the earth and bring it up into your body. All the nutrients that are in the soil, all the you know, many ways of connecting with earth and bringing its energy to yourself. So breathe in, go down into the roots. As you exhale, draw in all those nutrients into your body, into your root system. And always keep connecting with the sensations, the soles of your feet. And as we bring this meditation to a close, once again, starting with the sensations in the soles of your feet, feel the tingly sensations that you might have, or sensations of warmth or cold, or some pins and needles, or just some tickles, or anything. Or if there's nothing that you feel in the soles of your feet, then just notice that. We're working your way up, your calves, your knees, noticing all, becoming aware of these body parts as you work your attention upwards, and your thighs, and then once again the base of your spine, and your hips, and your buttocks, and your pelvic region. Notice the weight of your upper body resting into your lower body. Ending the meditation with a feeling of gratitude for all the support that we get from our lower body, our foundation, and how it supports us, our feet, how they help us walk towards our destinations every day, the energy in our legs that carries us towards all the goals that we need to achieve. Ending with a sense of gratitude towards our own body. Taking a deep breath in and out, and gently opening your eyes. Okay, so that is an example of a grounding meditation, because what we're doing is in a visual sense, like we're visualizing ourselves connecting to the earth, but it's not only visual, it's also sensory, because we are also using our sense of touch and feeling to explore how it feels to be connected to the earth.
So our theme for the first part of the SSS this year is the intelligence of the body. So how does the chakra system for you kind of illustrate that idea of intelligence of the body?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And I think it's all about becoming aware of different parts of your body that are manifesting in your daily life in different ways. So, for example, the days I'm feeling a little, lack of sleep, for example, is an example that your first chakra, the Muladhara chakra, is off balance. That you're not, even with food issues, like if you have either, lack of hunger or too much hunger, it basically means that your lowest chakra is out of balance. So when you start becoming, you understand this, how the chakras affect the manifestation of your life, then I think you're basically connecting that intelligence of the body with the higher intelligence, the higher intelligence of the universe. So you see how that higher intelligence is not, finding its expression in your body.
Mm.
So because it's really a gateway to make that energy come to you.
Mm.
And if I'm feeling a lot of anger, or I'm upset with my best friend because she betrayed me in some way, and I'm very angry, and I find it very difficult in my heart to feel positive feelings for my best friend, then it's my heart chakra that's affected, and my heart chakra is telling me that it's out of balance. And then the intelligence of the body basically means taking responsibility that this is not working well for me, and in order for me to be whole in body, mind, and spirit, I need to clear these blockages. It's not about what my friend did, or not. It's not about what she said. It's not about what she did. It's about me finding that stable spot within my body from which I can operate to my fullest potential. So it's all about like day-to-day awareness of where is it that I'm feeling blocked today? Where in my body could there be a blockage? If you have a fear of public speaking, for example, that tells you that you have a blockage in your throat chakra. And how can you overcome this fear? And there are ways and means in which, like I said, there are many different techniques, and it's a wonderful science, and there's many different ways you can access this science through definitely through visualization techniques, or meditations, or yoga, or chanting, or so these are all wonderful techniques. But as long as you become aware first as to where you think you might have, you feel a lack of purpose, maybe that means there's your topmost chakra is not able to conceive of a bigger purpose to your life. So that I think in these ways, it's like, they're this, I would think of the chakras as the stepping stones between heaven and earth. So they're the portals from which we, communicate like I think you always say, the vertical dimension, so becoming aware of these chakras is like becoming aware of the interplay between these two realms, the mind and the body, heaven and earth, vertical and horizontal. So that's how we can use it, and increasing the intelligence of our bodies, I think.
So what are you going to do for the rest of the time here? You're going to lead us through some other practices to balance the other 6 levels, the other 6 chakras?
Yeah, so what I was thinking is that it would be great for the class to do some yoga practices. And so why don't I send you a couple, YouTube videos, which maybe you can play for the class, and they can practice some of these poses, which are very key poses in clearing. So any yoga you do, by the way, is going to help you clear blockages, because it's a flow of energy. Yoga is not just about physical movement. It is also about the flow of energy. It's also, yoga is also, when done mindfully, which means when done with the awareness of the movement in the body and this different sensory motions, is actually, a best way to clear blockages in your body. So, but of course, it's not a practice that can be learned in one class, but we do have some wonderful, postures that can be practiced. And if you do these on a daily basis, like even if you did it for 3 or 4 minutes, maybe at the starting of your day or the starting of a class, I think it could really help you receive information better, pay more attention in class, be more attentive, be more receptive to the knowledge, that's being given. Like it would open you up in a way that absorb things better. So why don't we try some of these yoga poses? But instead of me demonstrating, I would have loved to do that. If I was there, I would probably send you a couple links to look at it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sangeeta. It's a great pleasure to have you be part of our classroom, and yeah, we're very excited to work with the yoga poses and for help us getting our chi flowing better. So thank you so much. Okay. All right. Bye bye. We'll talk to you soon.